Pascal's wager. If you believe in God and presumably follow him and turn out to be wrong, then you've lost nothing. But if you don't believe in God and turn out to be wrong, then you lose everything. We've all heard this argument debunked 1,000 times. People will argue that you can't just choose to believe in God, or that there are thousands of gods, so the wager really creates a false dichotomy. But I have a different take on the subject. Don't get me wrong, those are great arguments, but I think that there's another argument that goes largely unsaid in the atheist community, and that is, if you live your entire life by a certain god's rules, and then it turns out that that god is a fairy tale, then you've really lost a lot. Let me give you a list of examples. You've lost the opportunity to express your sexuality in the way that makes you feel happiest and most comfortable. If you're an LGBT person or you're just a straight person who wants to have sex outside of marriage, chances are you've lost a lot of opportunities by following a certain religion. There are a lot of LGBT people who live their lives according to a certain religion and thus have never been able to have a committed partner. Are you seriously going to tell me that they haven't lost something if their God turns out not to be real? And for just about anyone in most religions, there's a lot of guilt to be felt over going against the dogma on sexuality. If you follow just about any given religion, you're risking a guilt-free sex life. You've missed out on the ability to spend your money the way that you've wanted to. Living life without religion means that you can decide where you want your money to go. Sure, if you want to donate 10% of your income to charity, you can. It doesn't have to be dictated by anyone but you. You've missed out on living a life that's totally free of fear of eternal torment. As a lot of ex-Christians, myself included, will tell you, we spent a lot of time being afraid of eternal torment. And now that we don't believe in that, we're just monumentally better off. You've lost the chance to make plans and shape your life in the way that you've wanted to. When I was a Christian, I always made something I called open-handed plans. That meant that I planned for things in my life that I wanted to do. I set up goals, but I always left it open for God's influence. This left my ambitions vulnerable to change based on what religious officials told me they should be. It also left me vulnerable to thinking that God had shown me a sign that I should change my plans into something when really nothing supernatural had happened. If I would have continued living my life in that mindset, there would already be a lot of things that I would have missed out on that were really awesome and very valuable to me. You've missed out on eating or drinking whatever you want. I'll just say this, a lot of religious people have gone their entire lives without ever having taken a drink of alcohol or eaten a strip of bacon. Yeah. Pause the video for a moment of silence if you need to. You've lost your chance to wear whatever you want. Most religions have a dress code of sorts, and if you live your life according to one, then you've missed all your chances to dress immodestly when you've wanted to, or even dress wearing clothes typical of the opposite sex if that's what makes you feel most comfortable. You've wasted a ton of your time. Whether in your religion you pray, you meditate, or you attend services, or even all three, you spent tons of your time in life on those things when you could have been using them to do something more productive. And if nothing else, sleeping in on Sunday is pretty great. You've missed out on living a life where you don't think that you're inherently evil or inherently broken. Most religions teach their followers that there's inherently something wrong with them. And it's sad that people go their entire lives thinking that they're just broken individuals. You've missed out on living a life that's free of fear of judgment for thought crime. Everyone has thoughts that aren't so great, but that they don't act upon, and that's totally okay. It's sad that anyone lives a life in fear of judgment for things that they've thought but never acted upon, especially when those thoughts include doubts about their religion. You've lost the opportunity to live an intellectually honest life. Exploring science and philosophy openly and honestly is extremely rewarding for a lot of people. I'm one of those people. But unfortunately, a lot of religions don't allow their followers to do that. You've missed opportunities to receive evidence-based mental health treatment if you've ever received faith-based ones. You've wasted time receiving treatments that haven't been proven to work, and you probably would have been better off if you would have received evidence-based treatments all the time. You've missed opportunities to do good in the world not because you're divinely commanded to, but just because you want to. Doing something because you've been told to takes out a lot of the joy of doing it. I know that as an atheist, I feel a lot better doing good things for people than I did when I was a Christian. Here are a few for the more fundamentalist believers. You've missed out on being able to value all people equally. Without religious dogma, there's no reason to look down upon people or think that any one group should be subservient to any other. You miss chances to build relationships with people that your religion tells you to shun, discriminate against, or just stay away from. I'm sure millions of great friendships have been lost because two people's differing gods told them to stay away from each other. And finally, you miss the opportunity to advance human rights instead of fight against them. I'm sure a lot of religious fundamentalists would fight for the advancement of human rights if it weren't for their religion. But unfortunately, because they follow their fundamentalist sect, they probably do a whole lot more harm than good in that area. Theists say that they have nothing to lose by following a particular god, but I don't think that's true. If this really is the only life that we have, as evidence suggests, then I think that we should all try to make the most of it. As an atheist, losing my ability to do that means losing everything. Thanks for watching. I've been Drew from Genetically Modified Skeptic. A huge thank you to Hemet Meta for sharing my Is Atheism Prideful video. He helped me reach a much larger audience, and I hope that I can continue to put out content that the atheist community enjoys. If you like my content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter at GMSkeptic. Until next time, stay skeptical. After all, what have you got to lose?